I shall release Ouroboros. Is that all you have? Do you actually think you can defeat me? Playtime is over. I expected more from you. 7 minutes is all I could spare to play with you. Just stop. I shall release Ouroboros. I expected more from you. Playtime is over. Seven minutes is all I can spare. Is that all you have? Too bad you won't make it much further. Poor performance indeed.
In here, cheating.
I shall release Ouroboros. Your feeble attempts only delay the inevitable. I expected more from you. Seven minutes is all I can spare to play with you. Poor performance indeed. Just getting started. You're merely postponing the inevitable. Playtime is over. You've really become quite an inconvenience for me. You disappoint me. Is that the best you've got? I'll see you dead.
Hey Shadow, how you feeling? Are your games treating you well? I'm feeling amazing. I'm actually in a really good mood. The games are... they're definitely some of the games of all time. Matchmaking has been very interesting, but we've still been having fun with it. And in the last couple of weeks, we met some really awesome people. Many of them also enjoyed playing, which is a very pleasant change in pace, obviously.
I shall release Ouroboros! I'll see you dead!
I was kind of expecting this Jill to eat the Mario shoot immediately, but it looked like they both left. Average background player enjoyer, you love to see it. To try to save the firecracker. We hear feet. Let's begin with them. Are you sure you want to take that?
Just getting started. Is that all you have? I expected more from you.
Look up a little funnier.
High performance. You will not
Okay, I'll fuck with my volume settings between games then. Thanks for letting me know.
Playtime is over.
Is that better? Maybe now you can hear me okay? I find that very amusing as well. We have buckle up enjoyers.
You've really become quite an inconvenience for me.
We're gonna hang out right here, I think. Okay, I'm convinced of no plot twist unbreakable stunts. Yeah, it's definitely a very dynamic volume DBD. Especially with Wesker. Wesker and Billy have really bombastic sound profiles. Especially if you use headphone mode, or if you use any type of audio setup with the fake surround sound. Wesker and Billy become very saturated. I really enjoyed seeing the Decisive Strike and Buckle Up value. And a reasonable use of backman player. I think the same motive could have been achieved better with a couple of flip-flops and power struggles. Or even like plot twist, flip-flop and power struggle off of the hook. And just preventing the tunnel. You could keep your background players in the last slot. I think that's a really good loadout with Swift. Then you can never hook anybody, and I'm playing with one perk. As much as I love Gideon, it's actually a very good survivor map against Wesker. And it plays nice with good survivor perks. Maybe. I know that DVD has a funky volume profile. No. If you mean me like my voice, yeah, I think I can. It probably won't screw with me too much. I'll also see if I can't use some gain and make the mic a little bit louder. Oh, I think I can do that in stream settings actually. This might work. I might not need to do it in game. First, tell me if this is better. I just toned down desktop audio quite a lot. The only thing is I don't know if I'll need to restart stream for it to take effect. So let me know if it's different. I just cut down the game volume in half from a stream point of view. And then all of the game sounds and anything from my desktop should be much quieter on the broadcast. Otherwise, I'll do it through the in-game menu if this doesn't do anything. And I'll try it again when I restart. And I'll remember to toggle my reshade if you're going to RPD. East is a very good Wesker map. West is a little bit more obnoxious for me, but East is arguably the best Wesker map. How's that? Does this sound better?
Just started.
On the broadcast. I'm guessing that Ripley burned the offering. Cause she's lightweighting on RPD.
7 minutes is all I could spare to play with you.
Shadow, is this better? Or am I still being drowned out by survivor screams? Oh, the volume's the same for me. The only thing I changed was the broadcast. I made it quieter for you. Through stream software. I don't really care about the voice lines, but I do want to hear people's footsteps and breathing. Which is why I keep a DPD so loud to begin with. No, you're not a bother at all. Never were.
Do you actually think you can defeat me?
It's an easy change.
Is that all you have?
I think we broke the atom. Maybe the Adam will give me a moment to finish my coffee. If we can get him stuck. And we can also use that to test Ripley for unbreakables and soul guards and any of that good stuff. Because he shouldn't pick her up while he's here. We give her the bleed test. If she has an unbreakable, she has to use it. And this keeps us from having to pick her up and carry her with flip-flop or attempt any desyncs on pickup. Because we don't want the lightweight player to stand up and leave. Because if she does on RPD, it can be very obnoxious to find her again. And ideally, Adam Francis will have as much of a bleed timer as possible if she does stand up and run off, so that we can have more time to look for her. So the efficient thing to do here is just body block Adam for 4 minutes while she bleeds out. And then we can kill Adam. But yeah, thanks again, Shadowclaw. That's actually really helpful. Because I wouldn't have ever known that my stream volume is scuffed, because when I check my mic or when I check my sound, I do it in the pregame lobby. So I don't hear Survivor screams or chase music. I never would have noticed. I don't watch my VODs back. I strongly suspect that Ellen here sent me to RPD. She seems like the type. Even without lightweight, she was hanging out cross map holding M1 by a helicopter. Super immersed.
Playtime is over.
And we get the full carry length too. Because Adam was never slugged, he never got a chance to get flip-flop progress. And so we have the full 15 seconds to carry. If I give somebody hatch, I'm not really doing them a favor. It would be one thing if I gave a bot hatch because they're excluded from MMR. But if I give a player hatch, even though I don't gain MMR and they don't lose MMR for the game, it prevents them from losing MMR for dying. And if I am clearly more skilled than these players, then killing them and ensuring that their MMR goes down, and that they're encouraged or wait to go against worse and worse killers, is the kindest thing I could do. Especially if the matches are as one-sided as they usually are. Also, do feel free to backseat game or voice any opinions and stuff. I'm pretty chill with those things. I also think it's somewhat a moral thing, because actions like giving hatch or friendly farming and letting people leave after the game, or giving the killer pity kills from survivor point of view, is a big part of why the MMR system doesn't work super well and why games like this happen to begin with. And the really loosey-goosey attitude about it is also a big part of why behavior, as a company, is choosing to ensure that queues are reasonably quick, rather than very strict and very fair. I would rather wait 20-30 minutes for a queue and get a really stacked strong Swift than play against most of what I do. No, I'm not taking it the wrong way at all. And I know that from survivor experience, like, if you try to please everybody, somebody's still not gonna like it. Like, you say that's not enjoyable. But the reason I'm a killer main, and why I don't play much survivor, is that killers aren't willing to do these things, and aren't willing to, find the critical test. I think a killer needs to be prepared to massively slug. It needs to be prepared to proxy. It needs to be able to tunnel. Needs to be able to do a lot of different things based on game state to actually try to win. And that's one of the big things with asymmetrical games. Not necessarily asymmetrical horror games, but RTS games or asymmetrically balanced games in general. Competitive games where both sides have different win conditions or different tools. The win conditions are normally super different, and they're also super volatile. That's part of what makes these games cool. I get a little bit bored-ish of Survivor, or at least it doesn't hold my interest as much, because killers don't engage with the mechanics and the strategical, and they don't play for their win cons. I'd probably play much more 50-50 than the 22,400-ish hour split I have now, if killers were willing to do what they needed to do. And like, there are survivors that like say that playing against M1 loot bait isn't fun because the gameplay is not interactive. You pre-throw pallets, you hold W, and the killer doesn't have a lot of agency to affect the outcome of the game. And on the flip side, there are survivors that don't like playing against like Nurse and Spirit and Blight, killers that can actually do things because they feel like they can do things correctly and still have bad things happen to them. Different people want different things. And I'm prepared to have survivors tell me, oh, this isn't what I wanted to play against, or I didn't have fun. And I am prepared and appreciative to hear people say, oh, that was really nice, I appreciated seeing that. And I've heard both. The people that have liked the way I play and the people who have disliked it. But I do think it's somewhat a moral thing, where you have to do, I don't even want to say your best, but you have to do a good job. Because Dead by Daylight is ranked. We're not playing friendly customs amongst friends. We're joining together in a rated matchmaking kill. And so I will give an honest effort and I will play the game. But I'm aware that occasionally I get like an ill luck, and such is life. But definitely thank you, Shadow. Because even if I don't always like implement it, I definitely appreciate hearing like the feedback and the opinions. Dead by Daylight at the end of the game, at the end of the day, is a very social thing. You can't play by yourself. And it's nice when we can come together and talk about it.
I shall release Ouroboros.
7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
I want to break you from the other side.
Hard performance indeed. Just starting. You
Very ambitious to use this spray.
best you've got.
She could have ran a close map and had a better chance of either losing me or buying way more time. And that's another thing, if you let people off the hook scot-free, they don't play around the possibility that you might slug them or you might tunnel them or whatever else. Like, you have people unhooking each other, and then the unhooker hides. But they'll complain after the match that the unhooked survivor gets tunneled. It's almost like there's an expectation for the killer to go out of their way to avoid these things from happening. And if, God forbid, the killer did that, there are other problems. Gen speeds in this game are balanced around the killer accumulating pressure when it's available to them. The reason that you can't have 3 people splitting up on gens while the 4th person is in chase is because if that person doesn't consume certain protection hits, then various persons come into play, dead zones can be created, they have to pre-throw pallets very quickly, and you run the risk of having somebody get proxied in the middle of a 3-gen after that person is tunneled and you can't convert the pressure you already had. Like, you have to make a lot of concessions as Survivor. If the killer is willing to use options and if they're not in play, then all of a sudden the killer doesn't have to be respected and you can play more aggressively. Like Sprint Burst or Dead Hard and sometimes Balanced Landing are perks that let you play really aggressive on otherwise unsafe generators. If the killer is not willing to go there for whatever reason, it's like you're giving the strongest perks in the game for free, without the burden of execution. Yeah, I do. I've made the screen brighter. I'm using reshade. I have different color, I have different monitor settings, or like color filters or post-processing for every map in the game. It makes the screen much neater. It's this menu. It's a program called Reshade. This shouldn't be allowed, by the way. I consider it to be like really blatant cheating, but behavior is fine with it, and most competitive players do use it, as well as most streamers. If you look up Reshade, you can find it, and you can find various filters, or you can make your own. And there you can do things like make certain colors brighter, or like less bright, or otherwise change post-processing.
Too bad you won't make it much further.
On Autohaven, it makes the map basically gray. It takes all the yellow out and makes scratch marks and blood way easier to see. On Midwich, it blows up blues, and I'm basically using comp filters. Some players take it even a step further, and there are a lot of like really high-level spirit mains that are notorious for this, that will remix sound based on every survivor and every map in the game to make, for example, Nancy's footsteps on Backwater Swamp louder. I don't go that hardcore. I don't have a good enough headset to do that. I don't know enough about sound mixing, or sound whoring as people sometimes call it, to play that way. But that and the reshade I'm using are like the modern day equivalent of stretch res. And this is a relatively new thing. I didn't use any form of reshade until recently. But I had a lot of survivors post-game come in and say I was cheating, and it gave me the idea to meme a little bit. And actually they really grew on me. I also had somebody remote into my PC to help me fix something, and when they did, they changed my mouse's DPI, they changed some of my scroll settings, they changed my key repeat delay, and they changed some of my audio and video settings. And I didn't notice it till I was already in the middle of a game and playing.
You've really
And after the fact, I like some things, I dislike some others, and I dialed some other things like up to 11. And I became a reshade abuser. I'm also playing on 72 FPS as opposed to the 120 you usually see me on, because I learned that Wesker's M2 has different acceleration based on your FPS. And it's very important for slides and some hug techs to use lower FPS because you go faster and you go further. It's less important on Gideon's or Midwich, but on some maps with straight tiles, like the farm maps, or God forbid the Macmillan tiles, the junk tiles, the 4 lanes, and the sea walls, you can't actually clear the walls on 120 FPS. No. Camping is not toxic. And it's also something that you shouldn't be incentivized to do if the survivors play efficiently. But if the survivors play inefficiently and make some mistakes and do things that are very wrong, or inefficient, or they screw up chase badly enough, camping can become very good. And in those instances, if you don't camp where camping becomes good, then all of a sudden, what was a horrible mistake for Survivor becomes more efficient because they can do generators faster than they would ordinarily be able to. That's kind of like saying, like, if you go to the new Coal Tower, I think they call it Coal Tower 2, the one that's shaped like an eye instead of like the long layout. If you have a good survivor on that map, they can chain every pallet on the map, and an M1 killer, like Freddy or Doctor or Plague, will not be able to hit somebody until every pallet on the map is used. It is literally impossible to catch a survivor that knows check spots and plays effectively. Is it toxic and not right for a survivor to prove that just because they can? Is it toxic or not right for a survivor to run to main building in Garden of Joy and use crouch text to prevent the windows from entity blocking and vault 32 times in one chase? Or to do the same thing in Dead Dog? No, but I would say it's very punishing. It's brutal. And I think that it's really important that there are situations where one side can win really hard. And Dead by Daylight is much like StarCraft or much like MOBA games or a lot of other stuff I've really loved. a game where two reasonably skilled teams, reasonably matched, similar skill level to each other teams can play, and one side is going to get absolutely dog-walked one game, and then the next game they win. That volatility gives us a lot to play around with, and it's something that makes the discrepancy in not only balance, and add-on and item balance and map balance and variance valuable, but also just the differences, not the objective strength, but the random things and how they can affect gameplay. It becomes acceptable, it becomes palatable, it becomes useful, because there's so much meaningful stuff that happens in the game that, one, it's hard to keep up with and it's hard to brute force and really calculate. But two, it's also something that you kind of have skill expression in and diagnosing on the fly, taking a reasonable course of action, encouraging what is good for you and mitigating what is bad for you. Dead by Daylight, it's a battle, it's a discussion, it's an argument, and both sides are arguing for different things. You're advocating for different things, you're trying to get different results. And even though it's really hard to figure out in the moment without going back into, like, not a replay, DPD didn't have replays, but VODs from every player's perspective and really unpacking things and opening up the survivor's comms and the killer's thought process, like a post-mortem, it's really hard to figure out what's going on. Dead by Daylight is a zero-sum game. What's good for the survivors is bad for the killers, and vice versa. And that's really important. I would argue it's the lifeblood of Dead by Daylight. You see, I have the time to do this because I know 3 people sprayed, which also involves opening up 2 chests, and one survivor going to where someone else is and spraying
You
them,
disappoint me. Is
or
that
someone
the
opening up a
best
3rd
you
chest. So I'm not too deep in generator hell to play this way. This is 1, and that was 2. That wasn't a solo gen.
There's no point in hiding. Just starting.
That's another thing. If you interact with people at a quick tempo, which means spending less time looking for chases between the conclusion of events, and more time either slugging or camping or proxying, or even holding a 3-gen in such a way where you can check sightlines and keep tabs on people and keep up with the game, you can make educated decisions instead of guessing. If you randomly leave a hook and chase whoever they give you, especially in the case of a coordinated team, not only are you likely to lose every game, no question, but you're likely to lose in a way doing stupid shit.
Too bad you won't make it much further.
By playing energetically and having a good grip on the game, you get more information than the best information perks in the game give you. Especially if you're using good information perks like Dead Man Switch and Ultimate Weapon to enhance your knowledge. Also, I didn't count because I'm too busy running my mouth. She might have been close to wiggling.
You actually think you could defeat me?
She can spray, but I do want to get rid of it. And I can afford to play this way because I bled so many pallets with Yui's assistance earlier. You won't see me play for pallet break too often, but I burn them at a quick enough rate this game where I can. And that makes getting rid of the sprays way better than it would usually be too. Are you sure you want to take a head shake? If you want to take protection hits, that's great, but it's very important that the person in chase who you're taking hit for loops, and the person who takes a hit enters the chase, rather than the other way around. They did it backwards there.
Playtime is over.
That's not viable.
If all you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
That feels really good. We burnt a big chunk of our sprint burst.
Poor performance indeed.
We can remember her sprint burst. Makes it a little bit more okay to slug her. We just don't want to do it on an M2 grab. So she doesn't have extra wiggle progress that we don't need to give her. There we go.